Oh, there are eggs up here. Shoot. Shoot. There's some kept brood larvae and eggs. Dang it. Okay. I really wasn't expecting to find that up here. That frame was, I thought they were backfilling that last week. Hey guys, Brittany coming at you with a hive check. It is fall. It is Sunday, October 26th. It's not warm, but it's one of the warmer days we're having right now. The girls are flying and the sun has been out. It's cloudy right now, but the girls are flying. So I'm going to take this opportunity to check in the top boxes only. I don't want to pull any brood because I don't want chilled brood, but I'm going to check the top boxes, check a few frames, see how their stores are looking. I've been feeding them like crazy and I'm hoping that they're storing it away. They are still raising a little brood, so they're probably using some of it to raise some brood, but I'm hoping that they've been packing it away. We're going to see how it's looking in there. And if that sounds good to you, let's get into it. Hands in the earth, we're making it right. Planting hope by morning light. Every seed a promise sown. Together we'll make the world. So just a side note, like I said, I am feeding them. It's warming up enough in the daytime temps to still feed them liquid feed, but it is getting cold at nights. So I have stuck these grocery bags filled with grocery bags in here to try to insulate it and keep them from getting super chilled overnight. And honestly, it seems to have worked. This isn't something I would want to do as insulation over winter, but for this, it's working. So what I don't want to do is be in here super long. I just want to take a peek and see how their stores are looking. Now what I do want to do, I'm going to start over here and pop this one out. It's going to probably be a little more difficult to work in here because it is cooler. So the propolis is going to be a little harder to do anything with. Just put this here. And I'll put it down here. Do they have anything in there? They don't. All right. We're going to take a look at this frame. The one I just pulled out, it's not all the way drawn. Daggone it, they are drawing this, but it's not super drawn or deep. So I'm going to try to get these rolls off of here. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to wait to do it. I have this frame that I left out from when I combined hives, and I left it out long enough that it looked as though I had a few spots that looked like maybe small or wax moths had laid some larvae. So I froze it and I cleaned out those spots. There's still pollen in here and it's nicely drawn. So I feel like it's a good frame to give them, and it's better than the frames that just aren't drawn. Also, I've gotten some comments saying that honestly saying that neither of my hives look like they're gonna really do well. And I respect anyone's opinion. I only ask that you're respectful with your comments, and most everybody has been. Although I did get a really out there comment that was just a blanket statement and mean. I won't get into that. But anyway, I definitely respect the opinions and knowledge of the beekeepers who have commented, and I definitely appreciate it. I have had comments that have said that green hive should be down to just one box and not a double deep. I'm feeling like the population is looking way better than it has, and there was a lot of kept brood in here. So, you know, and I've seen some orientation flights, so I've had bees emerging and stuff. So, and I know the population's going to go down with it being winter. That said, it may be best for me to get these into a single deep, but I am just not comfortable doing that at this point. This is full of nectar, well, or maybe it's sugar water, but I'm happy to see that. Hopefully they're going to get that dried down and capped off. This side is not completely full of nectar, but it is partially full. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get this one in there in the spot that I want it to be before I forget. So I'm going to put this one here and then put this one in here. It's a good place they can store stuff, and it has pollen. So speaking of pollen, like I said, the girls are flying today, and oh my gosh, they are bringing in pollen and quite a bit. Our weather people around here have said that our growing season is over. But somehow they're bringing in pollen. So I don't know if it's like residual pollen that's still on the plants out there or what, but kudos to them. They are hard workers. Anyway, it's very possible that it would be best to go into winter in single deeps. With green hive, I think white hive's fine, but okay, this has capped honey and nectar they still need to fan down. And they've got nectar over here. I can't tell if any of it's capped yet. But anyway, I just don't feel comfortable manipulating things at this point. I just don't. Even if even if it would be best for me to go into winter with a single deep, it just really concerns me to think about the in-depth process that it would be to get them down. Oh gosh, oh, that's honey. Oh my gosh, that scared me. I thought it was capped brood. It's capped honey. Anyway, just the process that it would take to get this down to a single box, it concerns me about that process at this point in the year. And I feel like I need to just stick with what I've got and just feed so they can build up stores and wrap my hives and hope for the best. And if worst case scenario, they don't make it, you know, I've got a lot of drawn comb and lessons learned. Okay, they've got capped honey. This is a nice heavy frame. And watch out, girl. Let's see this. Capped honey on this side. All right. I do want to hurry because I don't want, I've noticed some, I think they're yellow jackets that have just been marching on in there, but I haven't seen them like in big groups. So hopefully they're not really doing a lot of damage. Let's see. All right, they've got pollen on here, nectar, lots of nectar, bee bread on this side. Oops, sorry, girls. Okay. Take a peek at this one because, let's see. I need to figure out which one I'm going to put back in here. This is not fully drawn, but it's quite drawn. So it is a place that they could store honey. So I'm definitely going to leave this one in here. And there's nothing in there. I'm just going to feed. I mean, at this point, that's all I can do and cross my fingers. I know the population probably is not what people would like to see, but it's what I have to work with. And I'm just going to go into it thinking, you know, that it's maybe like a late swarm in a tree, and you know, they do have a chance of survival. Maybe not a great chance, but they have a chance. So I'm just going to hope for the best. All right, now what am I going to do? This one, I don't know. This one has fully drawn cells, so maybe this would be best. I guess I'm going to go with this one. Which one would you go with? I'm going to go with this one because even though it's not drawn all the way down, it does have fully drawn cells where they can store stuff. This one they've been working on, but there's just not like a ton. So I feel like even though it goes down a little further, this one's the better one to go with. And you know, the sun was out, it really was. But ever since I started videoing and working in here, it hasn't been out. I don't like being cold, and I get cold easily. It's not even that cold, but it's cold to me, and yeah, I'm just already counting down to spring. So at this point, I think I may just need to just wrap and cross my fingers and feed. You know, I just feel like my season went well, but I just feel like I kind of was little behind with each thing because I didn't know what to expect until it was there. I don't know. Does that make sense? Anyway, so I do feel like I just inevitably got a little behind with each thing. And as a result, didn't do each thing that I needed to do when I needed to do it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Anyway, hopefully I don't have a hard lesson to learn from coming out of winter. Hopefully they survive and I can just do better, stay ahead of everything next year. All right. So I am also trying to work on making some wraps to wrap them with. And one of the negative things about, you can't see from there, my handles that I added protrude from the boxes rather than, I don't know what they're called, but like with the standard hives, length straw hive boxes, how they have like the recessed handles. The downside to that is if you're storing them, you lose about a 3/4 of an inch on one side. What's that, an inch and a half with the two handles? But then also when I wrap them, I'm going to have to make a section to go to either side that kind of goes around it. Does that make sense? So like I'm going to have to do a layer here and here for that to be a recessed portion, and then another layer over it, if that makes sense. So what I'm doing, rather than buying a wrap or insulation, foam insulation, I need to refill that. Oh, I need to refill both of these. I'll leave these two out. My husband was able to bring home foam signs, and they're at least a half an inch thick. And I'm going to layer them to make probably around an inch and a half, maybe 2-inch thick foam board wrap. So the good thing about that is, since it's thinner, I can more easily make strips to go to the sides of the handles, and then do the next layer over them. All right, let's see. They definitely are doing better than Green Hive, just by initial observation. All right, this is not fully drawn out. There's nothing in there. There's nothing, they're not drawn on this side. All right, this is drawn, obviously not all the way down, but it is drawn. So they can be storing stuff in here as soon as they get to this spot. This one's drawn, nothing in it. I'm just trying to look down at the boxes below, just see what I see. Anyway, I definitely feel like these girls are a little better off as far as population and stores go. Just don't know about taking them down to one box at this point. I don't know. All right, this is drawn. They have some nectar there in the middle. They've got a good bit of nectar on this side. I don't know if you can see the glossiness. Oh wow, that's a heavy frame. Lots of capped honey. Let's see what this side looks like and show you. Yep, capped honey on this side. A heavy frame, full frame of resources. Oh, this is a heavy frame too. It's not even fully drawn, but it is full of honey. That's good. And honey and nectar. Something that I considered doing was making basically follower boards to take the space of maybe a couple frames to reduce the volume that they're going to have to heat. Like if they have frames that don't have anything on them. All right, this isn't fully drawn, but they've packed a good bit of honey on here. We've got some nectar on there. They still need to fan down and cap. And same over here. I feel like, okay, where I'm at, where my hives are at, is it ideal? Probably not. I'm not even going to say probably. It's definitely not ideal. These frames are not fully drawn. They're not all fully covered with bees and, all the things. But maybe this is me just being overly optimistic. All right. Lots of, oh, I need to get this back down there. Eggs. Oh, there are eggs up here. Shoot. There's some kept brood larvae and eggs. Dang it. Okay. I really wasn't expecting to find that up here. That frame was, I thought they were backfilling that last week. All right, lots of honey and nectar on this side, and honey and nectar on this side. I'm just trying to get this back in here. Well, looks like we're still queen right, I guess. It's good to see, but also not. Not ideal to be pulling up brood in these temps. Okay, nectar and some nectar, not much. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying, they're my hives, my colonies are definitely not really like ideally where you would really want them to be. I get that. I appreciate the comments and advice. I feel like at this point I am crossing my fingers and feed. And hopefully I don't learn hard lessons. Hopefully I can get these colonies, or at least one of these colonies, through the winter, and then just do better next year about staying on top of stuff and not being behind, like doing stuff later than I should be doing. There's definitely a learning curve as a new beekeeper. You have to learn your weather and pattern, your blooming pattern, your dearths. Oh, there's a lot to learn. I feel like I've learned a lot, but there's still so much to learn. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna just continue to feed, work on getting them wrapped so they don't have to use as much energy to survive. And I mean, there are small late swarms that get in a hollow tree and they figure out a way, you know? So maybe I'm overly optimistic, but I'm overly optimistic. I'm just gonna knock these girls in their nest. Well, guys, that's it for this fall hive check. Though they aren't where I want them to be, their stores and population are better than they were last week. At this point in the season, I just don't feel comfortable making big changes like condensing them down. I think that would be more stressful than helpful. My plan is to keep feeding while the weather allows and focus on helping them build up as much as possible. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow along. I'll be sharing more updates as I keep checking in on them this fall.